Hello, ZZ Bullen. I watched your video, the one that this is just rounded to, of course, and I found it particularly interesting. I can't quite tell what your personal opinion on it is because of how you phrase yourself, but if I understand you correctly, what you mean by is it ethical to put a price on a human life? In the context of the video, I assume that what you mean is that the severeness of their case and the productivity of a cure to that ailment makes one more important as far as charity money goes. Um, if this is the case, then yeah, I would think that would be ethical because you aren't so much trying to forsake anyone or even value one over another. You're valuing humanity as a whole. You're trying to help as many people. I mean, if what you're trying to stop is, I don't know, AIDS, I guess AIDS is a huge problem, um, then you're trying to help the most number of people. You're valuing human life, and I'm not a philosopher of ethics or anything like that. I really don't care much for ethics, but from my perspective, I would see that as ethical. And just a side note, since I spoke of AIDS, I heard from a professor of mine that there was actually a cure found for it in some sort of plant, some rare plant. And it's been found for some time, but producing it is terribly difficult. I don't know. You should look it up if you're at all interested. But back on point, for a different reason altogether, I would say that this is unethical because you're taking away the people's right on how they choose to spend their money. In sense, you're taking away um, their freedom to their property in such a scenario that people are forced, or not forced, but there's one charity, let's say, they're essentially forced to donate to this charity if they want to donate at all. Um, that is, in a sense, that is the restriction of the freedom to property. And while withholding funds that could be easily and safely given by individuals is very much immoral, it's much more immoral to force people to spend their money. It's a huge breach on freedom. Moreover, this is very similar to the proposal, and I saw that you on your tags something about Professor Xenu or something like that. So I'm sure viewing the Scientology Picket videos you've seen, Scientology kind of use, or the members of Scientology use this proposal that there is this greater cause in Africa, missionaries and whatnot. Why aren't you out doing that? Why are you here fighting us? What do you have? What's the problem? Well, the thing is that you can't if you force people to do something that they aren't particularly passionate about, they won't have that extra oomph, that compassion for it. If someone's passionate about something and if they're there on Scientology's doorstep or donating to rich kids in Zimbabwe, I don't know. If their passion is there, then they're going to be making a more impact themselves in that area than anywhere else. I mean, why doesn't every child in America go off and become a scientist because we're lacking so much in science right now? Well, maybe they don't really care for science. Maybe they'd rather be a guitarist or a skater. I mean, something that they actually enjoy. Uh, in that sense, in that phrasing of it, you're also taking away the person's freedom of expression to express their passion for something because I mean, even though you're donating to a charity, you are putting that passion in it that you care about this subject, and even more if you go off and actually participate in it, of course. But if someone cares about cause or charity A more than B, then if they're forced to do or forced to pay for B, then they're going to they're going to give less to B than they would do A initially. Also, a proposed perhaps solution, maybe government could give incentives to charities that are more important, quote unquote, than others. But I don't know how you would implement a sort of incentive. The only kind of incentive I could see would be a monetary one. That's the one that people care about. Maybe a tax break. I don't know. But other than that, I don't know what you could do. Uh, so really, this just comes down to a very simple question, perhaps deceitfully simple. Um, really, what's more important, freedom or life? In favor of life, one might say there is no freedom without life. It is very true. But in favor of freedom, I would say, is life worth anything without freedom? Anyway, that's my thoughts on the subject. Any sort of response would be greatly appreciated. You take care out there in Aussieland, yeah?